What up, what up, what up, world? It's your boy J Star here today with the final look, man, at the week 14 slate. As we always do, we're going to jump right into the injury report here. So it's looking like starting off here with the Rams and the Ravens game. Looks like we got doubtful, so it looks like Higbee is not going to be playing for the Rams. Besides that, it looks like everything else is just questionables, and everybody else is able to go. On the other side, same thing, just questionables, no outs there. Panthers and Saints is next up here. Looks like we got Hayden Hurst is going to be out for the Panthers. Deshaun Williams, defensive end, is going to be out for the Panthers. And then for the Saints, we got Isaiah Foskey for defensive end. And it looks like Kendre Miller is still going to be out. And that's about it. Then we got the Colts and the Bengals here. We got Braden Smith, tackle, is going to be out, and then Jonathan Taylor still going to be out, of course, for the Colts there. For the Bengals, it looks like everybody's able to go. We got the Texans and the Jets here, and it looks like we have Dalton Schultz is going to be officially out, so Brevin Jordan is going to be in play again. And then it looks like we got the Jets here with Jason Brownlee is going to be out, wide receiver, and then, of course, Aaron Rodgers still out. And looks like nothing else. Okay, so then moving on, we got the Bucks here and the Falcons. We got Jamel Dean still out. Okay, so that's gonna be the side with where London is at. So that's really good to know. So yep, we can attack with London on this game for sure then, because their cornerback out on his side is going to be out. Devin White is going to be out too. So I guess that's good for, I would say, Pitts, if they end up going to their tight ends at all. Like, goodness gracious. I mean, Smith or Pitts, I guess. But, yeah, more than likely Pitts. And then we got on the other side here, the Falcons. It looks like Nate Landman is out at linebacker. Lakel London, defensive tackle, is going to be out. A tackle, what is his name here? Okay, McGarry is going to be out. Got a lot of outs. And then David is going to be out too, defensive tackle. So, okay, so there's a lot of outs there for the Bucks there. And then the Jaguars in the Browns game here, we got Christian Braswell, cornerback, is going to be out for the Jaguars. And then Trey Herndon is going to be out still with concussion. Okay, and then Walker Little at tackle is going to be out with hamstring. Strange is going to be out. So, wait, they have Farrell still. Okay, I was going to say, is there no backup for Ingram then? Because there's going to be a lot of targets to Ingram, but they do have Farrell. Okay, so then the Brown side looks like just a whole bunch of questionables, and that's it. And then we got the Lions and the Bears here. It looks like Frank Ragnow is going to be out at center for, what is that, the Lions, right? Okay, and then the Bears side of things, EQ St. Brown is out, so heavy targets going to be going to DJ Moore, Komet, and Mooney now, with no St. Brown for sure. And then looks like we got the Seahawks and 49ers game here. Looks like nobody's out for the Seahawks. For the 49ers, we got Eric Armstead is going to be out. Okay, and then looks like Ross Dwelly is out, and then Ray McLeod is out. Elijah Mitchell is doubtful too, so few injuries there for sure. Okay, and then the Vikings game, looks like everybody's back. Even Jefferson is going to be back for this game. And then for the Raiders side of things, we got Colton Miller, tackle, is going to be out. Broncos Chargers here. Looks like everybody's a go for the Broncos side. Chargers, Zach Bailey is out at guard, and then who is this? Deion Leonard, cornerback, is going to be out. Josh Palmer is still out. And then we got the Bills Chiefs here. Looks like we got everybody's able to go for the Bills. For the Chiefs, it looks like Brian Cook is going to be out as safety. And then Isaiah Pacheco, of course, is out. Donovan Smith at tackle is going to be out. And Drew Tranquil is going to be out. So I know in that game we should have a cheaper running back to be able to play. And that's about it. So we can go ahead and get into this slate now, man. We got Tampa and Atlanta. It's kind of the same thing I already talked about with this game. Baker, of course, White is going to continue to get targets. So, he's always going to be in play just because of that reason, though. But definitely Evans is, one of the best plays here. He's just getting mad targets. After when I went over, I believe he's like heavily targeted against this style of defense when they play this defense too. So it's pretty crazy. Like, then we of course got Auden could be in play if they actually throw him the ball. The only thing is, I think did I see something about him like even with the targets, I don't think he's like been hitting. Like they targeted him 6 times the last time. He's still getting like 9 points. Only one game against Houston, which I mean is a team too where you can attack the tight end. He actually did well, but most of the time, even with the target, he's not even hitting. So that's the only thing I did notice there. So it'd be kind of better, like since he's only getting us like 9 and 8 points all the time. It'd been great if he was like 2,900 here. But then moving on to the other side of this game with Ritter, we just went over some good news with London there. Like possibly if London can get 7 targets, he possibly hits here. With Jamel Dean still out, this could be a really good game for London here. Like we also said with who was that? Levante Davis still out, or was it Devin White? One of them linebackers is out, and I know it was good for Pitts. So if this becomes a game where Ritter has to throw a lot, because Tampa Bay is able to still stop the run and not allow Bijan Robinson to break, free out of the backfield with all the other running backs too that they have. If they give him a hard time, he has to throw a lot. London has a good matchup, and of course Pitts too as well. So could be something, there at least, if somehow this game is very competitive. This is the battle for first place in their division here, so this game is going to mean a lot. Then we got the Rams and Baltimore game. Weather is going to be an issue here. Very windy game. Expecting this game to be a lot of running, a lot of dumping. So Kyron Williams, Gus Edwards, Higbee is out from what I saw on that thing just now from the thing. So likely, I think, like I said, the dumping, I think is all going to be there. We know Cup does a lot of, short routes and stuff like that. So he's possibly in play. But yeah, the weather, rain and like 25 plus miles per hour wind and stuff like that. So I'm expecting a lot of dumping and a lot of running in that game. Detroit and Chicago, weather is good here. So this is a really good game. I think, I feel like Fields and them feel like, they should have had the last one. The defense showed up, got them a lot of turnovers. And being that, like I said, St. Brown is being out, it just makes this even be easier for, I would say, the targets going to Moore and going to Komet in this game. Should be a lot of targets to these two to be able to put with Fields there. And then on the other side with Goff, though, they're always targeting St. Brown. And of course, like I told y'all before, when they play the one high, since they don't have a legit like wide out, St. Brown's a legit just straight slot. They like to use Laporta as their wide out receiver. So definitely think Laporta is big in play here. Pass catching back is where you want to attack. So I'm thinking Gibbs over Montgomery. He was already having a better game the last time. Montgomery just got the game-winning touchdown to actually get him a decent amount of points there. So that's where I'm looking at for that game. We got the Colts and Cincinnati game here. I'm expecting the running backs, both of these running backs to be in play here. Mixon and Moss, I like both of the running backs here. When it comes to pass catching options here, of course, Minshew has been tearing it up with Pittman lately. And it's against the same style of defense, so back-to-back weeks, and now you got another same style defense again. So Pittman, I think, is going to be in play there. Of course, also Downs, I like him too as well. If you get there, you want to take Downs in that slot. Can definitely attack Cincinnati there too. And I even like the tight end at Granson for cheap 2,600 this week. So then on the other side with Browning, of course, like I already talked about Mixon, of course, but then Chase is going to be my favorite option here. It's really nothing else. I mean, of course, you can take a shot at Higgins on the other side of the field. I'm sure his targets will go up. Then, since it was his first game back, he only had 3 targets. I expect him to get into the range of like 6 and 7 in this game. So he definitely could be in play for at least a touchdown or something. Then moving on here, we got the Jaguars and the Cleveland Browns. Don't really know what's going on with Trevor for sure because been limited all week. And the Browns defense, man, gets that pressure and causes sacks and stuff. I just don't think they're going to really send him out there. But even their backup is hurt, so he might be forced to be out there. Like, it's kind of crazy. Like, so kind of thinking he might be out there. It's just, golly, man. It's going to be a scary game because they could lose this game and still be in first place. So I don't know how much they really want to send him out there with that. Man, it's really hard. Like, and then with Ward, it looks like he's back. I think Ridley's going to have a hard time. He's still going to get targets and stuff like that, but he's probably going to have a hard time with Denzel Ward coming back. Looking at like Ingram or something like that could get a lot of targets and do well here. On the other side, though, we don't know what quarterback they plan on going with. I think the best play would be Njoku, though. Of course, pass catching back is something you can attack. So if you get down there to Ford, you want to take a shot at him, you can also do that. He did score on a pass catching touchdown last week against the Rams. Mari Cooper looks like he's going to play, is what I saw. I think he's going to play. He is at home, but I mean, we don't even know the quarterback. This is just so trash for that game. So moving on, man, we got Panthers and the New Orleans Saints. Saints is battling for first place. If they win this game, they'll be tied with more than likely the winner, I think, of this game here. But I think they're about to force out Carr, man. Like, it's just funny. Every time Carr is hurt, it's like they just don't want to play Jamie, man. They don't want to start Jamie. This is hilarious. Like, so if Carr plays, I think this is a really good game for Kamara, since even Taysom Hill is kind of banged up and he's been limited or didn't even practice at all this week. Yeah, so it's crazy. So like, if he's out, man, Kamara is gonna be like, I don't know how you don't take him. With they send out Carr and then Taysom Hill is not able to go. They don't have Shaheed. Carr is so messed up. I just see him doing exactly what he did. What game was that? The first game Kamara played here, I believe. Yeah, this is his first game. Last time Carr was hurt with his shoulder, and he got 14 targets. And then he has just a great matchup coming off of one of his best games too, with 28 fantasy points. So I'm thinking he's going to be a lock if somehow Carr is able to go. Taysom Hill's out. I mean, I just don't see how he's going to. I believe they would use Jamal Williams, though, a little bit, maybe for some goal line work. He was one of the, leading in rushing touchdowns last year. So for 4,300, he could steal some touchdowns if somehow Taysom Hill's not able to go. So that is another play there. I just don't see none of the pass catching options here being a good play with Carr's shoulder messed up and everything like that. On the other side here, we got another chance at Bryce Young, in Thielen stack. Also, I even like Mingo lately. He's been, cranking up the what I want to say targets lately, like 7, 6, 6, 10, 3,500. I think he might be in play for his first touchdown of the season. Rookie hasn't scored yet, but I think this might be the game he does. So I definitely think he's one of the best value plays on this slate. Moving on, though, we got Houston and the Jets. This is going to be a tough game, I think, with Stroud not having some of the best options here. Of course, they could run the ball, though, so they definitely, I think they will lean on the run a little more here against the Jets with Singletary and Pierce. I still believe he will force targets to Nico, even with Sauce Gardner on him. I thought Noah Brown was going to be completely healthy, and I thought that would be a good play, but now he just comes up questionable. Still think he's a good play. Of course, Woods also is in that slot area too, so 4,200 Woods. Also, like I said, Brevin Jordan should be a really good play again this week. We have been attacking Jets, at that tight end position, so 3,100 definitely can crank him up in your lineups again. We got Minnesota and Vegas Raiders here. This game here, the Raiders, if they lose this game, they're probably completely out of the playoff run. So I'm expecting them to put up their best fight here at least. O'Connell definitely with, Adams or Myers, I feel like is in play for this game. I definitely feel like both of these receivers are going to show up and try to, actually put up some good points here to actually compete with a high power offense here, man. You're going to need, plus 21 easily, to beat Minnesota. So this could be, their best game, like I said, because after this one, if they lose, they're probably completely out and they're probably already planning their vacations. So on the other side here, Dobbs, though, finally having the whole offense, man, like completely healthy offense. So he has everybody to go to, man, like for real. Like Jefferson, I know it's just his first game back, but I definitely see him trying to get the ball to him, as well as now having Hawkinson with Jefferson too. So one of these receiving options is going to not be doubled anymore. And I mean, come on now, like one of them can definitely do really good. And of course, Addison has been that touchdown, dependent, I feel like, player there. But he does score usually, especially when Jefferson and Hawkinson has been there. So, like I said, Dobbs has a full offense here, man, to go to. I really feel like he should be able to have a good game, possibly not turn over the ball as much. But like I said, the Raiders will be trying to bring it to him early, I feel like, in that game and make it very competitive at least. So the Seahawks and the 49ers here, we got the Seahawks battling for a wild card spot while we got the 49ers, trying to steal that first place, because I believe if the Eagles lose, they would move into first place with the bye and everything on Sunday night. So definitely, Purdy and them is going to want to win this game. We got McCaffrey in a really good spot. After that, Since this is a zone style defense and not a man style defense, we will lean to Debo. And if somehow he wasn't the hit, I would think it would be Kittle before, even if it becomes a Uke. But, Uke has at least been doing well every time. I don't mind you taking shots at a Uke, but I think this is where I would really think that they're going to try to attack the Seahawks the most. And I would probably lean with these two, just because most of the time when Debo is able to play, it takes away from Kittle hitting that, like, what I want to say, salary paying off, points, fantasy points there. So, and then on the other side, Geno is going to either be with Metcalf or Lockett, I feel like, in this game. We already saw both receivers was able to do good out wide against the 49ers last week with Smith and AJ. So definitely both of these two is in play. And Lockett just hasn't been showing up. He's been dropping a lot of big catches and stuff like that. So I can definitely see him being very low owned here. But he could actually hit in a game like this that means so much to them. Like, they would be probably 2 games possibly out of the playoffs, I would say, if they lost this game. So I know this is a huge game for them. Now, I expect them to actually battle very hard against the 49ers, who's going to try to just come in there and bully them for that first place, position and everything. So then the Bills and the Chiefs here. We got the Bills battling just to stay alive, I believe, because I think they're almost like 2 games out or something like that. Let me check that again, though. So they're 1 game out of wild card. Okay, so and then the Chiefs just fell out of first place, so they're gonna want to stay in the hunt to get that first place back, that first place bye back. So definitely, over here we looking at Rice and of course Kelsey, to stack in this game, and then for this side of the game, and then on the other side of the game, we got Josh Allen. Of course, you can take Diggs, but like I told y'all before, it's something about when Davis plays Kansas City, he has big plays against them. So it doesn't make sense all the time, but it could make sense just because of the fact that Diggs is going to line up with Snead and Davis is going to have an easier matchup. So, and then besides that, we got Kincaid. So I'm looking more at this range. If I'm looking at a Josh Allen stack here, I'm looking at these 2 options over Diggs just in this game, just because Diggs has the harder matchup there. And then for this last game here with the Denver Broncos and the Chargers, looking at Herbert, of course, with Eckler, and of course with Keenan Allen, with all those crazy targets. And either one of the tight ends I feel like could actually get it. It's really kind of going to be touchdown dependent for Parham a little bit more than Everett. Everett usually gets the yards and a few more targets and things like that. So, if you're taking Parham, you just got to hope he ends up scoring one of the touchdowns that Herbert ends up throwing in this game. And besides that, on the other side, Russell, man, it's pretty simple to me. It's just Sutton. It's not really throwing to anybody else that I feel like is in play. And if somehow Memphis is out, possibly Judy gets a little bit more targets. But, yeah, it still feels like Sutton probably ends up with like 12 targets in this game then. And this game means a lot for Denver because they're still battling for a wild card spot. And the Chargers is 2 games out. So they're trying to catch back into the hunt. So definitely a big game for them. So now, man, just after going through all that, y'all, I'm thinking I want to be in like a very competitive game here. Of course, a back and forth game. I know it's some games that don't feel like they will be competitive this week. So to me, one of the first games in the morning that I see that's, that I like is definitely this Detroit-Chicago game. And I know Chicago is not playing for anything, but they are at home. This is a divisional game still, so I definitely think they want to stick it to the Lions and everything. But the Lions aren't going to let down, so I'm going to go ahead and go with Goff. Just because he has so many freaking weapons, man. Like, so many ways to attack the Chicago's defense here. And I'm going to go ahead and go with Laporta here to stack with him. Just like what I told y'all before, like against these 1-high safety teams, defensive teams, they try to go to Laporta out wide, move him out wide, get those matchups. And even if they send him from the slot area, they kind of do wheel routes and send him out wide still. He usually scores on those type of plays, usually has his biggest gains on those games too against that style of defense. So I'm definitely going to go with Laporta here over and take basically the savings of not taking St. Brown. Because also what I did notice is that when St. Brown plays this style of defense, his numbers haven't been really amazing. It's been okay. So we have yet to see him like hit for like a 30 or 28 is what I want to say against the style of defense. So I'm kind of expecting Laporta to come through. And then I'm going to run that back, of course, with DJ Moore. So It's been one of their favorite options to go to against this style of defense on the other side. So I'm definitely going to run DJ Moore back. And then we're going to move on with my running backs that I think I'm still stuck on these two running backs, man. Like, I'm roll with Mixon versus Moss, man. Like, it's just a good matchup both ways. I don't know, man. There's other good running backs, of course, at the top that I do like. I would say, McCaffrey, Kamara, Eckler, of course. Kyron Williams in that bad weather is okay, but some other running backs I would say I did like Pacheco, but now he's out. So, we do got some savings that we can take with a CEH, and I believe, let's see, McKinnon's going to be playing too, right? Let's check back on that because I know he was questionable before. Yeah, let's see what's going on. Okay, so he's still kind of questionable and everything, but we got CEH at 4,200. So if you need that type of savings, you definitely can even take him. But like I said, right now I'm kind of in, with the Mixon and Moss, man. I feel like those teams are going to lean on these running backs for sure in this game, especially I think it's raining too, so I expect them to be leaning on the run a lot. Moving forward, though, with the rest of this lineup here, I'm going to go ahead and take a piece of this game right here that's supposed to be very competitive. And since the cornerback is out, I'm going to hope that, of course, they throw enough to Drake London here. And he also, takes advantage of that matchup, man. Like, he's 6'4", man. Like, come on now. Got to take advantage of the backup cornerback sticking you. And with the yak yards that Tampa has been giving up, I feel like he should at least have a 100-yard game for me with 7 targets. I hope he hits on catching at least 5 of those. If he gets in a touchdown, then amazing. He really is probably more than likely hits huge. So definitely 4,600. I just feel like it's too cheap and it's worth a shot there. I'm going to take a cheap option here, get a value play here, and I'm going to go with Mingo. I talked really highly on him, thinking that this might be the week where he finally scores his first touchdown in a really good game. His team has nothing to lose, but, New Orleans is battling, and I definitely think New Orleans could be up big or something like that, but I still feel like Mingo could get a garbage touchdown or something like that in a run back situation there. For my flex here, I think I'm going to go with, because I don't have nothing late here in this lineup so far. So definitely think I'm going to go with Eckler here. Like I said, this is a big game here. I love this game right here. I know I don't really have anything from the Bills or anything game, which is also another huge game. But I'm gonna go ahead and go with Eckler here, and then I'm gonna take one of the best defenses here in the Ravens defense. And that's how I'm gonna finish this off. But if I wanted to flip this lineup just a little bit, I also even like switching up my defense here to the Falcons defense or something like that. Saving that, get that $400, and then switching to the other side of that game and just putting Fields in there. I already have DJ Moore, so the stack goes either way. And I like that. Either way, I really like that game. I think both quarterbacks can do really well. They're going to be battling very hard. Hopefully it's not a very defensive, ugly game, which we do see sometimes with rivalries. But I think this will be a very good offensive game here. And like I said, I like switching the quarterbacks here with this lineup. So that's it, man. And hopefully y'all enjoyed that. Hopefully this really helps y'all cash big this weekend. It's your boy J Star. Make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe, and I'm out, y'all. Peace.